All right, so what are some examples of the autonomy thesis with regard to philosophy? Well, he starts off with the nature and existence of consciousness and the soul as an example to show the autonomy thesis. He says these are the sorts of questions that form the warp and woof of science, of the philosophy of mind. So, what are these questions? Well, they're ontological questions like to what is a mental or physical property identical? There are epistemological questions like how do we come to have knowledge or justified beliefs about other minds and about our own minds? There are semantic questions like what is a linguistic entity and how is it related to meaning? There are methodological questions like how should one proceed in analyzing and resolving the first order issues that constitute the philosophy of mind. And so notice he says it is evident that these are in no way scientific questions. They are philosophical to the core, and he suggests they nicely illustrate the autonomy of philosophy thesis, right? Philosophy asks these questions, not necessarily science, right? And so these are philosophical questions. And so philosophy can stand on its own. So this is an example of the autonomy thesis.
Yeah. So, we've done, at this point, probably millions of brain surgeries. We've developed the tools to go in and root around in people's brains. And lo and behold, we haven't found any minds yet. Found brains, but we haven't found minds. So sometimes we're not quite sure the brains are there until we crack open the skull. So
maybe all those people are just out of their minds, or maybe their minds are out.
So, if we can't find the mind, well, do we just say it doesn't exist? Well, it seems odd that, the personality traits, the ability to hold, memories and the things that make you just boil down to the chemical reactions, the electricity in your brain firing up at certain times. And then, you go to sleep, you wake up and you're a completely different person that way, right?
Actually, moment by moment, you're a different person. Right?
Exactly. So, if science cannot tell us these things and science is the only tool in our toolbox, well, are we just out of luck? But these questions are going to pop up. In fact, they've popped up since, the Greek times. So, we've been asking these questions for a while. And if we hang all our hats on the science tool, we won't be able to get close to this type of answer or even within the realm of the question. All right, so how about methodological naturalism, agent causation, and the nature of science? That's the second one. Well, when it comes to the task of defining or giving the essential characteristics of science, that task belongs to the philosophers and the historians of science, and not to the scientists themselves. Perhaps the main philosophical issue is in the theistic evolution intelligence design dialogue involves the relationship between science and the appropriateness of using science to warrant the inference to intelligent cause for some phenomena. Central to this dialogue is the question of whether or not science must adopt methodological naturalism, roughly the idea that doing science one must seek only the natural causes explanation for the scientific data. So that's one, is the imposition that, whatever you're doing, you must assume that there's only such things as the natural world and nothing outside of it. So you can't bring in non-physical entities into the equation to offer explanatory powers or answers. And so, while that might be all fine, well and good, but what if there are things outside of the natural world that do interact with the physical? So again, our minds seem to have some way to interact with the natural, and devoiding ourselves of that answer seems to only hurt our understanding of what it means to be human, what it means to wake up, what it means to mess around with people's identities. And so all these things seem more than natural world. But that is one possibility, and it does seem to be what the majority of scientists do, at the very least, to make their lives more simple there.